Good morning. My name is Anna. Thank you so much for joining me for this morning yoga practice. So I am going to be using a blanket here today. If you have a blanket, you can really use any type of blanket. Go ahead and grab that. If you don't have a blanket handy, you could always use a pillow or even a block. So we are going to get started off on our backs, but I'm going to take my blanket and unfold it so it looks like this. And then I'm just going to fold it over on itself and then fold it over one more time. So it looks like this. So you can do the same with your blanket or just plop a pillow down on the floor. So we are going to take whatever you've got there, place it on your mat, and we're gonna lay your shoulder blades over on top of it. So you can think kind of like bra strap line or where you would wear a heart rate monitor. That area is going to be laying right over your blanket or pillow there. So coming down onto your back, just let your head rest on the floor, or if you've got maybe a pillow that's a little bit higher, you could always place something under your head as well. And then maybe bring your arms out into a cactus. And so all that blanket or pillow is serving to do is just give you a little bit of gentle opening through your chest. You can have your knees bent, or you could stretch your legs straight out. So just start to let your eyes soften. And just feel that gentle opening in your chest. And maybe this is the first thing you're doing this morning. You could almost think of this practice just as like a really gentle, tender wake-up call for you. In the same way that maybe you've been woken up by a loved one in the past, and someone just really gently kind of bringing you into the day. Just let this practice be that for you. Just a gentle invitation. And just starting to notice your breath a bit more. Breathing in and out through the nose. As you just let your shoulder blades on your back sink down into the support of whatever you're laying on. Let's take a couple more breaths there. And then as you're ready, you can walk your feet back to the floor if you had them stretched out. Just rolling over to your side enough to slide out that blanket or pillow. Placing that off to the side. So come back onto your back again. We'll set up for a bridge. You can let the arms drop down to the floor. Start to scoop your tailbone under toward your heels. Squeeze your glutes and lift up into a low bridge. You can check in here with one hand on top on kind of your pubic bone, drawing up toward your face, maybe one hand back on your sacrum at the base of the spine, kind of drawing down. And then right where your hand is on top, imagine that you could just draw straight down, getting a little bit kind of that lower belly activation. And then you can let your arms come back down and maybe start to pulse in the hips. Using the glutes there, the back of the hips, to start to almost resist against the front of the hips. And you can even place your hands on those front pelvic points and just give a little bit of resistance down. just to incentivize the glutes to drive up. And then let's take your arms, reach them up toward the ceiling, and we'll just start to make fists, and you can circle out your wrists there. A little bit of a morning brain teaser, circling the wrists and pulsing the glutes. Just circling the wrists both directions, and then hold the hips there, and let's stretch out the wrists so you can turn the palms up, fingers back. Take the right hand to the left fingers and start to stretch them out. And then as you're doing this, pushing down into the balls of your feet and just lift and spread your toes. Nice. And then you can set your toes down. Now keep pushing into the balls of your big toes especially. And let's just begin to lift and lower the heels. And switching hands here, so left hand pulls the right fingers back. And as you're lifting and lowering the heels, just noting that the heels move straight up and straight down, and just kind of imagine that you could picture that. And then go ahead and let the heels come down, let the arms come down, and just top to bottom, slowly lowering one vertebra at a time. Beautiful. All right, so keeping the feet where they are, just go ahead and interlace your hands behind your head. Just gonna wake up the abdominals a little bit here. So elbows hug in, lengthening through the back of the neck. Let's take an inhale breath. Exhale, lift up off your shoulder blades. Now keeping the chin down, just let the head lean back into the support of the hands, but then look down at your belly, zip up in the pubic bone, pull down in these front ribs to lift you up a little bit higher without cranking on your neck. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, rise up off the shoulder blades. You can look down, zip up in the pubic bone, pull down in these front ribs, consolidating side to side as well. And inhale to lower. Exhale, come up off the shoulder blades. Look down, pubic bone up, front ribs down, holding the abs down toward the floor. Now without changing that, kick the right leg straight out so the knees are in line. Keep zipping up in that pubic bone. You got this. Right foot comes down. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Look down at the belly. Hold the side ribs in. Hold down. Left leg kicks straight out. Knees are in line. Notice nothing else changes in the abs there. Left foot comes down. Inhale to lower. Adding on here, exhale, lift up. Right leg kicks straight out. Turn just about an inch to the right. Now reach your left arm outside of that right leg. Reach the fingers a little bit longer. Hold those side ribs in. Hand behind the head, back through center, foot down, inhale. Last one here. Exhale, lift up. Left leg kick straight out. Hold those side ribs in as you turn just barely, just like an inch to the left. Right arm reaches outside the left leg. Reach the fingertips a little bit longer. Look down at your belly. Hold that left side rib in especially. Back through center. Foot comes down. Inhale to lower. Nice work. All right, so let's take the feet wide here, about mat's width apart. Zip up in the pubic bone here, and then let the knees come over toward the right, maybe not all the way down, so keeping the whole left foot on the floor, and then almost feel like that left leg was in a bridge. You kind of squeeze that left glute, drive it forward. And then bring the knees back up through center. Take them over to the left. Pubic bone zipping up. Squeeze that right glute and feel kind of that bridge action on the right side. Let's do one more each side. Nice. And then rolling over onto your side, using your arms to push you up. And we'll come into a tabletop position. So I have very hard floors in my apartment, so I like to use a blanket under my knees. You are always welcome to join me in that. All right. So in our tabletop, spreading your fingers nice and wide, shoulders are over the wrist, hips are over the knees. We're just gonna go right into some nice, easy cat-cows. So starting to turn the tailbone up a little bit, keeping a little bit of that engagement in the belly. Feel the shoulder blades slide down as the chest comes forward. And pushing the floor away, start to curl the tailbone under, lifting up in the belly, pushing the floor away, maybe the head drops. Let's do a couple more there on your own. Just imagining you could articulate each vertebra. Not only just moving in the areas that move well, kind of moving into those sticky spots as well. Go ahead and do one more round there. And then coming back to neutral, spread the fingers nice and wide. Straight, strong arms. We're going to tuck the toes under and pike your hips up into a downward facing dog. Wow. That may be your first down dog of the day. So be gentle with yourself. You can bend your knees maybe a lot. You can have your hands up on blocks. And keeping the arms straight and then really taking the hip creases and sending them high. Keeping that lift under the armpits, under the forearms, so we're holding steady in the shoulders. Maybe give your head a little rock side to side. And just notice anywhere that maybe feels a little bit sticky, a little bit sleepy. Just send some breath there. Now from here, we'll just start to walk your feet forward. You can walk your hands forward as well if you need to. It doesn't matter how far you get up, but wherever you land, we'll rise all the way up to stand here. So take a moment here. So lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Just take a moment to feel a nice, tall, strong, integrated posture. So taking the base of your skull, reaching it up, your whole face, and throughout kind of move back, bringing you out of any of this kind of forward head positioning. Shoulders are relaxed, front ribs are contained. We've got a little bit kind of this zipping up of the pubic bone in front for more of a neutral pelvis. And just take a moment there. Feel yourself standing steady on both feet. Take an inhale, bring your arms straight forward and up. As you exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips so you can take your fingers into your hip creases. Spine stays nice and long. Always the option to bring your hands down onto blocks. We're going to step the left foot back here. And then take your left hand down either onto your block or the floor. We're gonna pack this left shoulder down and in, and then turn from your spine to the right. You can take that right arm up. Good. Kind of gripping that left shoulder blade down your back, squeezing this back left glute, so keep that left leg sharp. And just let your head relax there. Take a big full breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll lower the left knee down to the floor and bring your torso upright. So we've got this left hip directly over the knee. Squeeze the left glute. Right hand will come to the sacrum. And then take your left hand to the front pelvic point and kind of draw it up there. Good, so we're getting this nice opening in the front of the thigh. Bring your left hand to the back of your head. And then use that as feedback to kind of guide the face back into the hand, lengthening from the base of the skull. Nice. Zipping up in that pubic bone. One more breath. Good. And then from here, we're going to open up into a warrior two. So you can release the arms. We're going to spin that left heel down and straighten the back leg. You can bring the arms forward and back there. Stand tall on your feet. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Reach that right arm up and back. Let the left ear soften toward the shoulder. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle, right forearm to the right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Push into that left foot, you got it. One more time, inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reach up and back, reverse. Inhale, warrior two, hold it here. And let's take this into a side lunge. So parallel your feet and then send this left hip crease back. It's a nice pop in my hip. And you can bring the hands onto the floor, be up on fingertips or blocks. But see if you can maintain the length in the spine as that left hip crease deepens and moves back. You can stay here or move the right hand under your chest, turning in your spine to open to the left for a little twist. And then from there, hand comes back down to the floor if you were in that twist. Turn around to face the front of the mat. And then we're going to keep going to the right, so the left leg will come behind the right leg for a little seated twist. So options here, you can always be sitting on a blanket. You could always kick this bottom leg out in front of you. And then from here, hold the length in the spine here, and we're not going to use our arms to crank around, but this is going to be an active turn, so we're holding the side ribs in and then just turning from that strength. And then wherever you land, you can just let the arms come down there and keep lifting up kind of through the axis of your spine. Take a couple deep breaths. And then we'll unwrap back to the front. You can have the hands on blocks or on the floor. I think I'm actually gonna do the floor. Turn to the front, right foot steps down, and then step the left foot next to it. So we're back at the front here. Let's take these hip creases, send them straight back, and then keep that length in the spine as you rise all the way up to stand. Beautiful. One more side. So inhale, arms come forward and up. Big inhale. Exhale as you hinge at the hips. Keep the length in the spine. Keep the length in the neck. Then we'll step the right foot back. You can have the right hand down on a block or the floor, but the hand is under the shoulder. Now pack this right shoulder down away from the ear, and then begin to rotate in the spine. You can take the left arm and reach it up. Kind of grip that right shoulder blade down. Squeeze that back right glute. Take a really deep breath. Just let the head relax. And then we'll lower the right knee down underneath the hip and lift your torso up. So we've got the right hip directly over the knee. Left hand comes back to the sacrum. It's kind of as a little guide point to draw the pubic bone back. And then the right hand can come behind the head. So remember, we're lifting up on the front of that right thigh. Moving the head, moving the face and the throat back into that top hand. And breathe into that. Then from here, we're opening up into that warrior two, so you can release the arms. We're gonna spin this back heel down and straighten the leg. Nice. Arms come forward and back. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Just let your head relax. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle, left forearm to your left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Let your left ear melt toward that shoulder. One more time. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reach up and back. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Standing tall on the legs. Inhale, warrior two. And then exhale, side lunge, parallel your feet. Sit back into the right hip crease. And the fingers can come down to the floor, or the hands, you could have your blocks. See if you can maintain the length in the spine. Deepening that right hip crease. If you want to, you can take that left hand down right underneath the chest and then rotate in the spine. Right arm can lift up. Relax your head there. And then we'll bring the right hand down. If it was up, turn back so you're facing the front. And then we'll keep going to the left so the right leg kind of sneaks behind the left there for that seated twist. Same options, you can be elevated on something. That bottom leg could stretch straight out, but make it work for you. And then lift up through your spine as much as you can without arching your back. Holding the side ribs together just like we did in our abs. And then slight turn to the left, just whatever you can maintain actively. And the hands just rest where they will. Just breathing some space into your side, into your spine. And then we will unwrap to the front. You can plant your hands, step that left foot down, and this time let's step back into a downward facing dog. Nice. So hands firmly pressing down into the mat, straight, strong arms, holding your front ribs up. Now we're gonna walk the left foot in towards center a little bit. Let's reach the right leg up. Good. Let's bend the knee and then roll the top of the thigh open without changing anything in the pelvis. And then if you'd like to, looking back at the left toes, just like we did in our bridge, you can lift and lower the heel a little bit. And we'll pause that, reach the right leg straight back and set it down. Replace left foot with the right foot, left leg reaches up, bend the knee, roll the hip open just from the top of the thigh without changing anything else. And if you want to add it in, look back at the right foot
Lift and lower the heel a bit. Pushing down into the base of that right big toe. Lifting the heel straight up, lowering it straight down. And then we'll pause that. Left leg reaches straight back and set it down. From there, we'll lower down to your knees. If you need to sit back, circle out the wrists a little bit. And then we'll meet back up in your tabletop. And this time, let's do some belly rolls. So the first time we were here, we did those cat-cows. But this time, see if you can start to circle your belly. Kind of like, nice. And then switching directions. It's kind of like you're scrubbing out kind of any spots that maybe feel a little bit sticky, a little bit restricted. Can add some side bends if that feels nice. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way down just to a comfortable seat. And so if you want to elevate your hips on a block or a blanket, you can have any configuration of your legs that feels nice. Let's take one hand over your heart, one hand over your belly. Just being thankful for another day. In this wildly incredible body of yours. And maybe even when things feel challenging. Maybe if you didn't sleep as well as you wanted to. However you woke up today. Today is another chance for you to be gentle and tender with yourself. To tune in and care for your needs. Just allowing yourself to feel that love and that care. As you head out into the rest of your day. If you had your eyes closed, let's go ahead and gently open them. Thank you so much for spending your morning with me. I always appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your practice with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.